Good morning. My name's Angela Freeman. I'm with First State Bank. Been in community relations for a long time, and now I manage the office at 24 and Romeo Plank right in Macomb Township. I would like to acknowledge the elected officials and dignitaries that are present today. I know we have State Representative Jeff Yorick. We have Macomb County Chief Deputy Executive Mark Delden. Can you wave? Stand up, wave. Macomb County Deputy Executive Pam Lavers. We have Macomb County Commissioner, Don Brown is here. Harrison Township Supervisor, Ken Verkest. Chesterfield Township Supervisor, Dan Echevetti. And the Shelby Township Supervisor, Rick Stathakis. I just want to take this opportunity to talk a little bit about First State Bank. We are remodeling our office at 24 Mile and Romeo Plank, and it's very exciting. It's undergoing transformation to improve our customer service, strengthen relationships, and provide opportunities for staff advancement. It's scheduled to be completed in early May, so we will invite all of you to stop by when we have our grand reopening. We recently celebrated our 100-year anniversary, and we're grateful for the past century. We celebrated this milestone by giving back to the community that has put faith in us. We are a locally owned and operated community bank with great outreach that's always been the cornerstone of our culture. Throughout the years, First State Bank has been an ardent supporter of local service organizations and community events. Whether it's scholarships, clock towers, food drives, fireworks, summer concerts, Macomb Township Sculpture Project in the Macomb Corners Park, State of the Townships like this one. If it's good for the community, it's in our radar. The focus of our centennial anniversary was good people doing good things in our community. We awarded $5,000 monthly donations to local Macomb County-based charitable organizations who, with caring hearts and hard work, change the lives in our community. And in addition, each one of our employees were given $100 to donate to the charity of their choice, as well as a day off to work in that charity. Employees donated to 55 different local charitable organizations. I thought that was a great way to celebrate our 100th anniversary. The community and the employee reaction was so heartwarming, we extended this program to the current year as well. We wrapped up our celebration with customer appreciation event fundraiser, which raised over $32,000 to benefit Macomb Community College. In recognition of our efforts, last month we were recognized as Macomb County's 2018 Corporate Citizen of Macomb Business Awards. We're neighbors, not just bankers. Macomb County is both our home and our market, which means that the time and resources are devoted to supporting the community. So if you're currently considering your banking relationships, either personally or with your business, I hope you consider First State Bank. We're right around the corner, 24 Mile Romeo Plank, and it's an investment in your community that you can be proud of. Thank you. And we can't do these events without sponsors, and I would like to list off some of the sponsors here today. We have Lori Doherty at AT&T, Melissa Jackson, Henry Ford Macomb, Neil Bishop from ITC Holdings, Teresa Doan from United Shore Baseball League, Elaine Myers, C&G Newspaper, and Daniel Spadafora from Beaumont. I'd like to give each one of these sponsors an opportunity to come up and do their commercial in the order that I called them. AT&T.
Hey, Lori. Good morning, everybody. AT&T is all about keeping you connected, so it's only fitting that we have sponsorship in these great events that keep you connected with the community and let you know what's going on in the community, a great community like Macomb Township. So thank you very much.
Good morning. So I got coffee, a microphone, and they only gave me 60 seconds, so I'm sure I can do it. At this time, though, I'd like to turn everyone's attention to the 28,000 EMS providers we have here in the state of Michigan. Obviously, they're not all in the room with us, but many of them are, and they represent the 28 life support agencies that we have here in Macomb County. So if you're an EMS provider, could you please stand up? I'm giving my moment to you. I know there's a table of them back there. We've got over here. All right. So, no, stay standing. The whole moment is for you. No, stand up. So these are the folks who literally are running toward the fire when we're all running away from it. And when Mother Nature so graciously dropped that 9 inches of snow on Macomb County last month, and we were all staying off the roads, they braved the dangerous road conditions, and I mean the potholes, to go to every motor vehicle crash and every single call for service that they were called to. They're out there going to motor vehicle accidents, they're responding to violence-related events, drug overdoses, heart attacks, strokes, and on and on and on. So this moment, I would like all of us to collectively and collaboratively thank our EMS providers for everything they do in this county every single day. This moment is for you. And then just call your attention to May 20th through 26th is National EMS Week this year. And at Henry Ford Hospital in Macomb, we'll further celebrate our EMS providers, and we hope that you'll come celebrate with us. So thank you.
Teresa Doan. Is she in the room today?
Good morning. So how many of you have been to Jimmy John's Field? Oh, wow, thank you. Great. I'm going to tell you a little bit about highlights from 2017 and then tell you what we have in store for 2018. So when we opened the ballpark in 2016, our hopes were to get just 1 or 2 players to sign with a major league affiliate and, you know, to get some of our guys into the big leagues. And we knew that once that happened, that we would actually be like a legitimate new league and that the baseball players would want to come play at the ballpark. And as at the end of 2017, we actually have signed our 20th player into a minor league affiliate. So great things are happening at the ballpark. Year 1, we sold out 45 of our 75 games. And for year 2, we actually sold out 60 of our 75 games. So very, very excited going into the 2018 season. There's big changes happening. We're constantly making improvements. We've added an entertainment team to the experience. Very proud of that. We have a new dance team, new pep squad. So we're just going to make it, you know, as fun as we can. The season opens on May 11th, so hope to see you there. We're opening on a Friday night, which is just going to make a great party in downtown Utica. And we have games Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and then we play on Sunday afternoon. And there are a few Wednesday games that we've added to the schedule as well. So I hope we can see all of you at the ballpark this year. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Elaine Myers with the CNG newspapers, and I'd like to introduce Diane Mosier. She's probably the gal you've seen running around at your businesses and driving up and down the street. Diane's one of our great sales reps. And Deb Jocks is our photographer. Thank you, Deb, for taking all these pictures. Just a note, on the front page of this week's Macomb Chronicle is the approval to hire more firefighters. So thank you to the firefighters that are here, and thank you to the police department that keeps us safe every day. CNG Newspapers has been around since 1980, and we're still growing. We're going to be expanding in more papers. I'm not going to say where we're going yet or when that will be, but we're available on your phone. So if you don't happen to have the copy of it with you, you can always go onto your phone. And so we're digitally up there with everyone else. Take a look at that. I want to keep this short, so I want to wish all of you happy St. Patrick's Day tomorrow. Drive safely, and we'll see you at the next Macomb community event. Thank you.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Dan Spadafora, and Beaumont this year is proud to join the great lineup of sponsors, and especially this year's State of Macomb Township featuring Janet Dunn. It's a privilege for me to serve as a Regional Community Affairs Manager for Beaumont, and that includes in this part of this region, this great community of Macomb Township, the center of Macomb County, and the heart of the world. I say that because it's exciting for me. I was very privileged one time, not that many years ago, to serve here in Macomb Township as the township supervisor back in the mid-1990s. And I believe Janet was our assessor back then. So, and I resided here for many years and raised, my wife and I raised our kids here. So, and I also did this same address here once upon a time. So it's great to be back here. It's also sponsored by the Macomb Chamber. Beaumont is one of Michigan's largest healthcare systems. We provide every patient with compassionate, extraordinary personalized care, no matter where they live in southeastern Michigan. Our culture of caring partnerships and our care delivery model of patient and family-centered care is demonstrating our commitment to engage our patients, their families, and our community to promote continuous healthcare improvements every day and every time. And our moonshot goal for Beaumont by 2022 is to be the national leader in patient and family-centered care. And I also joined, like with another great health system here today, Henry Ford, to salute our public safety providers and our EMS providers for all they do. Another round of applause for us. Beaumont has 8 hospitals and 168 health centers. We have nearly 5,000 5,000 doctors, and approximately 38,000 employees. And we continue to, you know, as I indicated, contribute to the health and well-being of residents throughout southeastern Michigan and beyond. And one of our fine health centers, one of our 168, is located right here in Macomb Township on the corner of Hall Road and Tilch. And we offer a full range of services in that location, namely non-invasive cardiology, CT scans, general x-ray, our home medical equipment, we have an office there, walk-in laboratory, mammography, MRI, nuclear medicine, occupational therapy, pediatric rehabilitation, physical therapy, sleep evaluation center, and we do have an outpatient surgery center there, also vascular lab and wound care. We have an exciting lineup this morning. Thank you for your attention and enjoy your day.
Thank you to all the sponsors. And right now it is my privilege to introduce to you our Macomb Township Supervisor, Ms. Janet Dunn.
Well, top of the morning to you. As you can see, I'm dressed appropriately. Some of you are not, but you have another chance because St. Patrick's Day is tomorrow. Before I get started, I would just like to acknowledge a couple of my colleagues. They are my neighbors on the east and the west side. So if you can find something wrong with Macomb Township, it's their fault because I'm following their example. Okay, let's get started. I want to thank you all for coming. And I'm going to give you a few facts and highlights of Macomb Township. If you would just look at all those building permits received by Joe Maples and his staff for construction of new homes for 2017. I can tell you the building department has made great progress as far as issuing permits and conducting inspections. Everything used to be written by hand, and the clerical staff would have to interpret the handwriting of several different inspectors. transfer it all into the computer system, BSNA, and go on from there. Now you can imagine trying to decipher somebody's handwriting, especially if they're cold and they're writing in the outdoors. Now, however, the applications are online and the inspections are done right in the field because they now have tablets. They can pull up the home, what they're there for, well, they know what they're there for, and go from there, write everything out, actually type everything out. It goes immediately into BSNA. They can write up a approved or rejected inspection, print it out, leave it at the residence, and go on. Thanks to Mr. Maples and his building department, his staff, his assistant, Mike Vadamo, and their staff for really pushing the department in the final 2 months of 2017. Mr. Maples asked the clerical staff at least once a day, how many permit applications did we get today? Your persistence paid off. We had 504 building permits last year. Mr. Maples, Mr. Bandamo, please stand. And the planning department sees no reason to believe that that number will decrease. There are just as many subdivisions and condo projects in some stage of development as there were last year, maybe more. In addition to that, Patrick Maher, our planner, and his staff of 2 finished up the 5-year Parks and Rec master plan, and Patrick is in the middle of applying for a grant for hiking and biking trails. Patrick Maher, stand up. You are one busy man, and I don't believe anything that slide says. What is really surprising, however, is the industrial development and construction. The township has never had 8 or 9 projects at one time in some stage of development. Will it continue? My crystal ball is broken, but all indications are pointing up. Now, I'm sure everyone has a closet or a drawer at home that looks like this. CIE Automotive, doing business in both Shelby and Macomb Townships, was making parts for the auto industry, storing them until the order was complete. They would go to Shelby Township, pick up the parts, come to Macomb Township, pick up the parts, and then finally get the order delivered. This new facility is 294,000 square foot building and will be storing all the parts in one place, which definitely streamlined their operation. Did I tell you it's the first one of its size in Macomb Township? So with all of this construction, both homes and commercial and industrial, the state equalized value has increased. The top 5 communities in Macomb County, Sterling Heights, Macomb Township, Shelby Township, Warren, and Clinton. Sterling Heights beat us by a mere $2,375,365. So between that difference and at the rate of growth from 2016 to 2017, it will only take Macomb Township 10 years to surpass Sterling Heights. That's assuming that Sterling Heights doesn't grow at all. Dan Hickey and his assessing staff do a great job, but I think the township will have to be content with being second on this list. Do you agree, Dan? First or second, it all means so many dollars that the township gets to take care of our residents. Our yearly audit from Plant Moran once again came back with an unqualified opinion. And once again, Munitrix has rated Macomb Township with a financial score of 0. It's the best score you can get. We've had a 0 since 2013. Now, the three largest colored areas, the green, the red, and the purple, show property taxes, licenses, and permits, and state shared revenue. Which generates the most dollars? Anybody want to guess? All right, I'll tell you. State shared revenues in the green brings us $6.4 million. Licenses and permits in the red brings us $3 million. Property taxes in the purple bring us $2.1 million. So whenever you think about my taxes are too high and you get complaints from the citizens, you can bring out this graph and show them where their tax dollars go. The annual audit by Plant Moran always mentions the good condition our township is in and gives a large amount of praise to the finance department and the treasurer's office. You know that commercial on TV with Samuel L. Jackson, "What's in your wallet?" Thanks to Stacy Smith from finance and her staff, they know what's in our wallet. In our employees' wallet, there are more coins due to the review of the 401 and 457 pension plans for our employees. The Plant Moran advisors recommended looking at the commission rates of the then current provider. Through the bid process, it was determined the employees would save a lot of dollars with a different provider. The township board concurred, and everyone's account was changed flawlessly. Our thanks go to the committee, Karen Goodhue, our treasurer, Christy Posey, our clerk, Stacy Smith, our finance director, Sherilyn Arf from Human Resources, Roger Krasinski from the board, and Plant Moran's Steve Gibson and Dave Latimer. That $2.1 million in taxes that were billed, mailed, and recorded by Karen Goodhue and her staff, that's 31,860 parcels times 2 tax bills a year equals 63,720 bills. And it is the same for water and sewer bills. 28,465 water bills times 4 per year is 113,860 bills. That's a lot of paperwork done by 2 full-time clerical, 1 part-time clerical, deputy treasurer, and of course Karen Goodhue, who waits on the counter and processes the bills. A working treasurer. I don't know if that's a first, but it should be. Karen, good job. Now, you know, we couldn't do this without computers. Well, I guess you could if you had a huge staff. But computers really make this job easier. Guess who had the first ever computer at the office? Yep, it was me. Don't you just love to be first? No, it wasn't that big. And it wasn't that small. But this is the new tablet the Board of Trustees are using instead of printing out the whole packet for our board meetings. By the way, it has Windows 10, and sometimes I feel like that bird, all frizzled and frustrated. But the more I use it, the better it gets. Besides, I have help right outside my office door. With 1 in-house employee, the Township Board authorized an RFP and subsequent bid for computer services. 4 years ago, we contracted with BPI, and they have done a wonderful job. Besides having an employee on site, there are computer engineers, programmers, and whatever we should need, just a phone call away. I have a 30-page document, State of the Township Information Systems, which indicates what was found upon arrival
and reports of what was improved or replaced right up to the present time. I decided not to read you the whole report, but I would like to mention at this time that the latest project is up and running. The building inspectors are using tablets in the field. I'd like to acknowledge Beth Case and BPI. Thank you for keeping us safe. Now, this service business is not located in Macomb Township, but you see their vehicles all the time within our boundaries. These vehicles are not cars, they're not vans, and they're not buses, but a sort of a truck fully equipped to help in emergencies. If you haven't guessed by now, MedStar ambulance has been used for our emergency transport as far back as 1950. From 2013 to 2017, they have received an unprecedented first place perfect score from the Commission of Accreditation of Ambulance Services, which is nationwide and is the gold standard for EMS agencies. They received a 0 defect, 0 follow-up from the Commission on the accreditation of education programs. MedStar is the only EMS agency in Southeast Michigan to hold both accreditations, and one of only 3 in the state of Michigan. Last year, 2,500 people were trained in CPR, and there were 68 ambulances in the fleet, and $1.8 million was spent for new vehicles, clinical equipment, and safety technology. I just want to emphasize to you, 4 consecutive years, 4 first place scores. Colby Miller, I bet you just love being first. Congratulations. Another first comes to us from the U.S. Census Bureau. According to the 2010 census, Macomb Township was the 15th largest community. From 2010 until 2017, Macomb Township has added 8,100 residents. And thanks to those 8,100 people, we are now the 12th largest community. First place in population increase of any suburban community. The 2010 census is 2 years away, but the preparations are underway. I am sure we will be placed first in population gain. Now, because of that population growth, those 8,100 people have pretty much maxed out some of our polling places, and the clerk's office will have to split some of the more heavily populated precincts. That's a pretty big project, and add to that an extra election in May for Macomb Community College millage. I'm sure all of you young folks don't even remember the voting booth and pulling the lever to cast your ballot. 2017 brought new election equipment for the staff to learn and become proficient in, as well as teach the precinct workers how it works. Christy Posey and her staff are gearing up already. Makes you tired just thinking about it. Now, Macomb Township is home to 4 different school districts within its boundary: Chippewa Valley, L'Anse Creuse, New Haven, and Utica. But only one reached the status of state champions. The 2016-17 Rockets from New Haven High School became the 2nd boys basketball team in Macomb County history to win a state championship. The Rockets also captured back-to-back league, district, and regional championships. They also won the MAC tournament championship in the blue-gold division. Along the way, they broke several school records: most wins in a season, going 27-1, most points per game, and point differential giving up only 48.7% for an average margin of 29.7% per game. Now, on the other end is the Utica School District. They only have 2 schools in our township boundaries. That would be Beck and Ebling. Out of a total of 50 teams in competition, Utica schools took home more than a third of the honors awarded at ThunderQuest Robotics in November. This is a quote from Christine Johns, the superintendent of Utica Community Schools. Quote, ThunderQuest is the area's first LEGO event and demonstrates why Utica Community Schools is a hotbed for robotics education in our region. 8 first place. Overall championship, Beck Elementary. Congratulations, Beck Elementary and Utica Community Schools. 3 gentlemen here today are working, not just enjoying breakfast and eagerly awaiting my talk. They are taping this State of the Township and will broadcast it at various times throughout the coming months on our cable channel. On a regular basis, they also manage the website as well as producing the following: board meeting videos, county, federal, and state programs, election videos, fire prevention tips, public safety, senior Macomb minutes, and sports. This year is a first for Spotlight Macomb, which is a short video showcasing a new business. So far, Duluth Trading and Testabera have been featured. Now, so that they won't do some editing and make me look awful, would you please acknowledge Jim Gillis, Jason Barrett, and James Drunk. Fun events from Parks and Rec are also broadcast each year. Extravaganza, Halloween hoopla, tons of trucks, tree lighting, concerts, movies under the stars. Stop in and take a look at our rec center someday. Check out our parks when the weather improves, and be sure to consult the REACH catalog for classes ranging from toddler swim lessons to senior pickleball. Sal DeCaro and his staff do an awesome job of providing activities and entertaining our residents. I know Sal is here. There he is in the back. These fun activities and events come with a lot of work and planning. Set up and take down of events inside and outside, decorating for Christmas, removing snow and ice from the grounds. And our building is 12 years old now and is starting to show some wear and tear. We're starting on a project to repaint the walls and replace the carpeting. General repairs, installation of various equipment, and a myriad of tasks relating to facilities and grounds fills up the year pretty well. Jason Kelly and his handy men are eager to begin some of those projects. Jason? Now, Human Resources is going to be very busy in the next few months. From the time of posting a position to onboarding an employee takes about 90 days. Here is a rundown of positions we have just filled or will be filling in the next 90 days or so. Full-time firefighters. One person in facilities and ground just resigned to accept a position of full-time firefighter in Macomb Township, so that position needs to be filled. We are looking for a lead inspector in building. We just offered part-time mechanical inspector in building and just offered a position to secretary in building. Remember those 504 permits? So the mountain of paperwork will become a little higher. Thomas Sorty and 2 staff members will be processing all the paperwork for all those new hires. I'm sure he will manage it quite well but it might be a little chaotic at times. Besides new homes and new industry, the township is in some stage of design for a new water line along 23 Mile Road between Macomb and Chesterfield Township border to Romeo Plank. There is a water line in place already, so why are we building a new one? 23 Mile Road is slated to be widened and completed by 2020, and we don't want our infrastructure under the pavement. Widening will be accomplished in 1 mile increments starting at the easterly border of our township. Some of the preliminary work has already begun. Jerry Wanglin and Ed Koenig, Water and Sewer Superintendent and Assistant, are gearing up for the next 2 years and beyond. Along with the staff, administrative, clerical, and field personnel, they do a great job. Ed, raise your hand, please. Along with the water line, our first fire station, which was built in the 1950s, will have to be moved or replaced. If you don't, we'll be able to serve coffee and donuts out the front door to passing motorists. That building has served us well for the last 60 years or so. Along with it being too close to the road, it needs major renovations and would be very costly. So the fire station and the sheriff's substation will be torn down and a public safety building will be built. Bob Phillips, our fire chief, is heading up the community for the new construction. This is a sneak peek, but don't tell Jason Arlo from AEW that I showed this. We have been told repeatedly this is only a concept. On March the 2nd this year, I had the honor of swearing in the Deputy Fire Chief Adam Monroe as the new president of the Macomb County Fire Chiefs Association. 2 years ago, I had the same honor of swearing in Chief Phillips. Another first here in that there have never been two chiefs to hold the president's position that are from the same department and are active in the fire service at the same time. We are so proud of our firefighters and the whole department. Thanks for all you do. Chief Phillips. Lieutenant Steve Briney is equally overjoyed about having this new fire police station. This is very, very basic reasoning because along with better conditions at the new station, the deputies will be able to park their patrol cars inside. Now you think that's not that great of a thing, but they don't have to scrape the ice and snow off the vehicles, but the birds just love to perch in that cell phone tower and sing and do their business. Sounds very mundane, but not to the deputies. Our goal is to keep everyone safe and our deputies happy. A major project this past 3 years has been the sidewalk program. Jim Van Tifflin, our township engineer, just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time, shaking his head yes when he should have been shaking his head no. As a result, Jim is in charge of the sidewalk program, like he hasn't got enough to do. We are spending, or have spent, $500,000 in 2016, $2 million in 2017, $1 million is budgeted for this year, and $1 million in repairs of the existing sidewalks are set for this year. Jim Van Tifflin and his associate, Crystal Kozak, you have a big job ahead of you. Thank you. That's 3 major projects, but the 4th one is near and dear to my heart. You've probably listened to me speak about the library before, and you'll have to listen to me again. Clinton Macomb Public Library has hired an architect for the design of a new North Branch. Again, this is a concept drawing and is subject to change. Julianne Lorian, do not tell Larry Neal that I showed this. This is another concept drawing. But here are some of the features that are being considered. A short walk through the woods to get from the parking lot to the library. Books. Floor coverings to feature usage as a game area, double purpose. Inside and outside space to showcase the wetlands area. An interior water feature like a fish tank or a fountain or Pewabic tile. This is the one I really like, a domed interior ceiling to project 360-degree movies or planetarium-style night sky. Did I mention books? I'm sure you've heard libraries are a thing of the past. No one uses the library anymore. It's all on the internet. Well, I won't bore you with the 2 pages of North Branch usage statistics and demographics, but just a couple of really good ones. The service population is 28,756 customers. Customer visits are 130,800. That means each customer visited at least 4 times. Circulation of materials, 440,000. Materials available, 86,728 items. Each available item was checked out 5 times. A thing of the past? Really? Julianne, I know you're here, the assistant for, stand up, the assistant for Larry Neal, the library director. Thank you, Julianne. A little earlier, when I was speaking about the library possibly incorporating the wetlands into the design of the building, the wetlands are indeed from that drain which empties into the pond that's right in front of our offices. On our behalf, our consulting engineers wrote a grant for habitat restoration for this area. It was awarded, and Macomb County Public Works was named as the contractor and is almost finished. It should be beautiful if it turns out as nice as the one in Clinton Township. When the emerald ash borer disease killed a lot of trees all over Michigan, a lot of those trees were near a drain and fell into the drain. Macomb County received a grant for cleanout where the drain office pays 1/2 and the municipality pays 1/2. So far, Deer Creek and the Harder Drain have been cleared. Thank you to Candace Miller and Anthony Forlini for bringing this to us. Now, as Angie mentioned, we are getting ready for the 3rd consecutive year of the Midwest Sculpture Initiative. It is Macomb County's only outdoor year-round art exhibition. We are looking for sponsors as usual, and we'll be having a selection day of what we, or you, want next Friday. From over 200 sculptures, 8 will be chosen for placement on our grounds. Your business or office will receive a plaque with the sponsor's name so that all who view the sculptures will also see the sponsor's name. This is like 1 year of advertisement for a very low price. Stop by and talk about which one you would like to sponsor, or maybe even buy for your office or business, or permanent donation to Macomb Township. Remember the grant that Mr. Maher is pursuing? This map shows the Township Connector Trail Concept Plan. It is designed to connect Macomb Corners Park to Town Hall and the Rec Center, across vacant land, across a nature preserve, down Foss Road to 24 Mile Road, and return. The red dotted line in the town center area is the McBride Drain, which I just talked about earlier. Hopefully, the grant application will be successful, and residents walking or biking along this trail will be able to enjoy the scenery along the way. That's about it for our good things that are happening. I'll just give you a little highlight. We're constructing new homes and businesses, increased employment opportunities at those businesses. Valuation is rising. Financial outlook is very strong. Retirement plans for the employees are improved. Contracts are filling the need for expertise in the area that they bring. Schools are award-winning. Population is rising. Exercise and leisure activities are available. Road and sidewalk programs are moving ahead. And a future fire station and library. I think that's a big, big applause for that. I really have to thank my fellow board members, the staff, the attorney, the sheriff's department, fire department, the outside contracting firms, anyone who helps in some way to keep our township first as far as the greatest place to live, work, and play. Thank you all for coming today, and may your path bloom with shamrocks and your heart ring with song. May your skies smile with sunshine all happy day long. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Now I'd like to tell you some personal things about the owner of the business of the year. Michael DiAugustini is a husband, father of 3, son, son-in-law, nephew, uncle to 7. He is a risk taker. He was building buildings in the recession. He is a pest. Oh, I'm sorry. He's a persuader. He was trying to get the township board to agree to deviate from our ordinance in regards to industrial usage. He is a member of the Friends of Macomb, and there's probably a lot more, but I really want you to know one thing. If it were not for Michael DiAugustini, there would be no Veterans Memorial in front of Town Hall, from the groundwork right up to the placement of the monuments. Thank you, Michael. Just a little information, that big building with the white roof, 294,000 square foot building. That's huge. So now I will let Michael come up and tell you about his business.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning. I do have to be honest, I'm a little bit shocked and very humbled to be accepting this award on behalf of our company. I guess in the back of my mind, I always thought, because of my various visits to the town hall and numerous phone calls and emails, and maybe I was considered a thorn in the sides of our planning and engineering departments, and certainly the building department. God knows the township attorney, and well, probably the rest of them as well, including this Dunn. But I always told myself that it's, it's all for the good of a better project. It made me feel a lot better, so I'm not sure about anyone else. Our family's been in the construction business for well over 50 years. Started by my immigrant grandfather, Luigi. He laid the foundation for his 4 sons to build on, and now for my brother, sister, and I to continue. We take great pride in our work, and especially our reputation. We've called Macomb Township our business home for nearly 25 years. I've called it my personal home for 15. In that time, we've bought land, developed it, constructed the Quadrate Corporate Park. In that park, we've built in excess of 800,000 square foot of corporate image industrial facilities. Those buildings now house various businesses, which at last count employ around 500 people. As Janet mentioned, my time with the foundation, I had luckily a part in the construction of that First Responders War Memorial. All of these accomplishments and accolades, we take great pride in saying we had some little part of. However, like any project, no one person could do it by themselves. We've been very fortunate to surround ourselves with incredible employees, fantastic subcontractors, and a great public partner. It's hard to believe, but we consider Macomb Township a great public partner. I can say from experience, more so in recent years, that the township's been a change. It's been very business friendly. All my interactions with the various departments, I find them to be extremely open and willing to help us out. And for us, that's important. Your willingness to assist and help us over the years has contributed to the success of our buildings, business, and ultimately the success of the township. So we thank you. So for my family, we really appreciate this honor and accept it and look forward to many more years of development and some great projects. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Janet. Thank you. We always want to give an opportunity for some of our county and state government elected officials to give us a little bit of some updates. And at this time, I would open it up for that opportunity. We have Jeff Urich. Would you like to start us out?
Thank you.
Hey, Jeff.
Unfortunately, I'm Representative Jeff Yarrick. I cover most of Macomb Township except for those 4 square miles on the southwest corner. That's Representative Marino. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it today, so Madam Chair, I ask for the balance of Representative Marino's time. Thank you very much. I'll tell you, as I reach out, I look at so many of the EMS and fire responders here. It's nice to see my colleagues and that they were recognized. I actually left the fire service about a year ago to go to Lansing. I do miss going out and doing the job, except I got to Lansing and found out that I started just fighting fires there. A year ago, we think back, when I walked into Lansing, we had the sinkhole going on at that time, which, what do you know, all of the sewage from Macomb Township actually goes through that pipe. It's not just the hole in Fraser, it was the pipe that Macomb Township takes. And while I was still trying to figure out where the bathrooms were, I was trying to figure out how to get some funding to support our district. About over 500,000 people were on that pipe. I really give a lot of credit to Candace Miller and her team for getting that done. Hopefully that's gonna be in the rearview mirror, that failure, that pipe. But I think we can't forget infrastructure. And so easily we forget the pipes and the issues that go on, and we need to take that on. Yes, we're glad that we could get $3 million to bring back from Macomb County and support that effort. You know, other things that are going on, we have car insurance. I hear that a lot from people. We haven't been successful in getting something done. You know, I have a few bills to try to support lower rates. One of my bills will guarantee an option for lower rates. We're trying to get that through. You know, we have a mental health crisis in this state, in this country, as we've seen so much of. And unfortunately, Macomb County lost $33 million in mental health money that got distributed through the state. And unfortunately, Macomb County sometimes becomes the little brother of the 3 brothers of Southeast Michigan versus the rest of the state. And I think Macomb County's delegation of Republicans and Democratic representatives get that, and we try to work together to fight for our county and put our county first. I'm glad that we say we were able to restore $5 million back and the fight's not done to make sure that Macomb County is not forgotten and aren't issues. We started talking about, let me tell you, I had 17 years on Richmond City Council, so I'm a local guy. And sometimes I forget I'm a state rep, because I sometimes feel I'm a city council member that just went to Lansing, and maybe we can make a movie of that someday. But there's a real disconnect between the state and local government. The state has not been good partners with local government, with schools, with local townships, boards, and I'm trying to change that. I am fighting that we are partners with our local partners to provide service to our citizens. And it doesn't matter, I previously was elected by 5,500 people for the city of Richmond. Now I have over 80,000. And just realizing it's the same job, it's just on a much larger scale. And I'd never forget that every individual person counts in that. It's not about numbers. So it tried to work together. Representative Marino and I, for example, we were looking to put a shred day together just to reach out to the community, do something for Macomb Township. And we contacted the township. We were discussing it. The township wanted to do some things too. They wanted to do a medication disposal. So I think we're gonna look at doing this jointly on, I think we're scheduling April 14th. So Representative Marino and I will be providing the shred day portion of that. That's going to be our event. And then the township is going to do a medication disposal and some other things. So working together with local government. Talk about other issues. You know, I'll tell you, you're probably not going to see me much in the news. I'm not much of a politician. I don't get the camera and the mic too often. A lot of the issues I work on basically helps local government. I have a resolution that passed the House that tells Congress it's time to make a decision about marijuana. I'll tell you, as a local government official, when I was there, we made our attorney a lot of money looking at how do we figure out, how do we deal with state law when federal law tells us it's illegal. And I'm an attorney also. So my colleagues who are attorneys made a lot of money on that, are making a lot of money offering opinions, but it's ultimately Congress has to make a decision because they keep going back and forth. One attorney general says we're going to ignore it. The next attorney says we are. And that really puts our local government in a bad position. Because who does most of the law enforcement? Local government. That's who does, and they need to have clear direction of what's legal and what's not legal if they're going to do their job. Roads. Obviously that's the big thing today. Well, it's been a thing for a long time. And there's a lot of conversations because we're having a bad year. But this has been a problem for years. And it's mainly a big part of it Southeast Michigan because we have the population. We are really the industrial backbone of this state. We have the traffic here, and our roads get beaten up more so than anywhere else in the state. Unfortunately, we have an Act 51 that was designed to benefit the rest of the state. So some things I'm trying to do. I have a township roads bill. As you know, townships don't have jurisdiction over their roads. I'm going to create an opportunity for townships to take jurisdiction and let them be a road agency like cities, villages, and counties so they can get their money directly and they could do coordinated asset management, that they could do their roads, their water, their sewer, all together combined for greater use of their tax dollars. Some other things we're trying to do, again, this Act 51 is horrible. And I'll tell you, federal road funding, that system is broke too. I was SEMCOG's transportation chair. This system is broken. We are not doing the best we can for the taxpayer. There's much waste and bureaucracy, and I've reached out to our congressional delegation to work together to fix this problem. And the state system's broken. Act 51 is broken. And this is a Southeast Michigan problem. Now, some people are trying to make this partisan, okay, because right now the Republicans have the governor's office and the legislature. This thing has been broken since Act 51 was enacted in 1951. This thing's been broken. When the Democrats were in charge, it didn't get fixed. When the Republicans were in charge, it didn't get fixed. Because people don't understand. This is not a partisan issue. This is Southeast Michigan versus the rest of the state. That's what it's about. I've introduced a bill to work to fix Act 51. I'm a Republican. I cannot get this bill heard. This is not a Republican issue. This is us against the rest of the state. So I've reached out to Mark Hackle and to Candace Miller and said, it's time we come together. There's going to be partisan squabbling over abortion and guns and all those things that we fight on partisan levels. Roads is not partisan. And I want to reach out to all my Republican and Democratic colleagues. I think my representatives from Macomb County understand that. We're trying to fight together. But we need Brooks, and we need Duggan, and we need Evans, and all Southeast Michigan to stand together and say enough is enough for Southeast Michigan, and we're going to fight together, and we're going to ignore our usual partisan fighting and make roads the first priority for our district. So that's what I offer, and that's what I reach out. Let's get to work. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Chief Deputy Executive for Macomb County, Mark Delvin.
Thank you, Angela. Good morning, everyone. Supervisor Dunn, Board of Trustees, thank you for the presentation today and the fine job that you do here in Macomb Township. I'm just going to, well, first of all, Mark Hackle could not be here tonight. He's attending an event downtown. I made the mistake of texting him last night before I went to bed to say, is there any points you want me to get across? Because I'm going to say a few words on your behalf. And still, after working with him for 7 years, I have not learned to not text him or call him at night, because he's going to call me back like he did this morning at 4:21 a.m. Say, what are you doing? You know, what do you think I'm doing? But anyway, he only wanted me to state the obvious, and it's just to talk for a minute or two with what Representative Yarrick did. The obvious right now is the roads. And this is not a problem that happened overnight. The reason it has bubbled to the surface this year is because of the type of winter that we've had. We've had these repeated freeze-thaw cycles, and it's not going to get any better. While we appreciate the $175 million that the legislature approved in one-time funding to come here now, because of this antiquated Act 51 Representative spoke about, Macomb County's share of that $175 million is $4.4 million. That's enough to buy cold patch to fill the potholes. It's not going to buy us new roads, and it's only one-time money. So just quickly, a few statistics. Macomb County has 1,700 lane miles of county-owned roads, 1,700 lane miles. We use SEMCOG uses a PASER rating system. It actually stands for Pavement Surface Evaluation Rating System. 800 of those 1,700 lane miles are rated by SEMCOG as poor condition. 800 of the 1,700. We have 24 bridges throughout Macomb County that need to be repaired or replaced. And just for Macomb County alone, when you add all of that up, if we were to replace or repair all of our 800 lane miles of poorly rated roads today, it's a $1.2 billion problem just for Macomb County. So Mark Hackle, you've heard him publicly, radio, TV, newspaper. He will continue, his job number one this year is to persuade or pester the state legislature to find a permanent funding solution to fix the roads in Michigan. Mark Hackle's focus right now is not rapid transit. He doesn't have anyone in this county knocking on his door or calling him saying, we need rapid transit. Everybody is calling him, our office, the Board of Commissioners office, saying, fix our roads. The layperson in our communities, they don't understand who funds what roads. You know, they typically will reach out to the elected official in their neighborhood that they know. Not realizing that perhaps it's a state obligation or a federal obligation or whatnot. We just want our roads fixed. So, again, this is not this problem did not happen overnight. There's been a 20-year disinvestment by the state in our road funding. We're not going to fix it overnight, but we've got to stop admiring the problem, and we've got to address it, a permanent solution to addressing it, because it will detour businesses from coming here with roads like we have. With that, I'm going to wrap it up because we're probably all sick of talking about roads. Grace.
Mark, didn't I read somewhere that we're the third lowest state that in the nation that invests in roads?
Yeah. So a couple of weeks ago, we read that Michigan ranks dead last in per capita spending for roads. Dead last in the nation. There are states that are along the same lines, that have the same winters that we do, that spend well over $400 per capita, $450 per capita on roads. We spend about $150, but we are dead last. I think the only one that might be lower than us is Georgia, but they don't have those kind of winters that we have. So with that, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark. And at this time, I'd like to give County Commissioner Don Brown a chance to come up and update us.
Thank you for being here. Nice to be here with Janet and your whole board and the community. Macomb Township's, it's the heart of Macomb County. I mean, everything's growing in Macomb Township. It's a state leader in so many areas, and you have a lot to be proud of what you've built in the past leadership and the current leadership and the future leadership that's going to be coming on. That it's got big shoes to fill and keep up, and not no pun about it. There's a lot of things that need to be filled in our roads, and a lot of it's been asphalt, unfortunately, recently. But roads is the #1 issue that the county's facing, and the Board of Commissioners, working with County Executive Mark Hackle and hopefully with our state legislature to help us put the pressure on to bring the needed funding we need for roads. As has already been said, and doesn't need much more reiteration, the bottom line is we don't have enough money to repair the roads that we have now that are already in bad shape, much less make improvements to expand capacity or extend the road system that we have. The legislature passed a tax, basically the same one that the voters voted down by 80% of the vote, and then spread it over, said we'll give it to you in 2020 or years down the road. And the money they passed in the tax originally was insignificant to do anything to fix our roads at the time, yet alone 4 years ago, 4 years later when it's supposed to arrive. The whole thing, this whole system is out of whack. I applaud the state representative about making inroads to try to make amends to the Act 51, which is a complicated formula of various funding streams that are not operating efficiently. But the bottom line is there's not enough money going into that system to begin with to take care of the roads that we sorely need. My son, my own person, everyone's got their road stories, right? Well, my son had to spend $2,000 on a car repair. He's a college student going to school and trying to get by on his own. He could have had a hard time making up the $2,000 to take when his front end came off on Hall Road through some big pothole. But that story is just one of thousands of them across the state. And as we as elected officials at every level of government have a responsibility to step up and do something about it rather than talk about it. We can do our part at the local level in supporting what the state and the federal level coming to be. Congressman Paul Mitchell, who I work for, is in Congress. He's on the Transportation Infrastructure Committee. They're looking right now at an infrastructure bill that the president talked about during the campaign that may bring some benefit to us, but that's on down the road. We need to do something today. We can control our own destiny by working with our state legislature and our county right now, today. So let's not wait. Let's continue to work. All of you can help and play a role by calling your representatives, whoever they are with the county, state, or federal level, and say, listen, what's the plan? What are you going to do? We need your help. Put the pressure on. You all have a role to play, and citizen activism is what it takes. And the heat will get on. Something will happen when the heat gets turned up. And so let's all turn up the heat and get our roads fixed so next year we're not having the problem we're having this year. Thank you very much, and look forward to working with all of you again. Take care, and congratulations again. Well done.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, everyone, for coming to this event. I think we need another round of applause for Janet and her team over at Macomb Township.